Hi, I'm Delores J from Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a life coach, and a lot of times people come to me and they ask me all kind of questions and they want help to resolve different issues in their life. And I decided to do some little videos just to answer some questions that I think are kind of universal that a lot of people want the answers to. So the first part of the question is, what is love? When I think of what love is, I have to go from a biblical perspective. When you look at the biblical perspective of love, I would go with John 3:16. John 3:16 says, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, and whoever believes in him shall have eternal life. So when I think of love from that perspective, I think of love as giving. And I also think of love as sacrifice. He not just gave his son, gave his son's life, but he also gave him to sacrifice him for the sins of man. So love is giving, love is sacrifice. And in addition to that, he was committed to that. Once God had created his son, he created his son for one purpose, to die for the sins of man and spread the good news, spread the gospel, let everybody know. So at the end of the day, he was committed to that purpose. Even Christ himself had asked to change his plight, to take the plight away from him. And God said no. He said, this is the commitment. This was my decree. This is what I'm committed to do, and to give your life for these, for the sins of man. So what is love? Love would be giving. Love would be sacrifice. Love would be commitment. Well, what I see with a lot of the women that I deal with, and some men as well, is that they find themselves in these relationships where one party is all give and the other party is all take. And unfortunately, a lot of people confuse that with love. They think the more I give, the more I express to this individual of how much I love them. But the fact of the matter is that if a person is only taking from you, then they're not in love with you. Love is giving, which means lust is taking. Lust, and unfortunately a lot of people can't distinguish one from the other. When you're in love with someone, you want to give to that person, you want to nourish that person, you want to make sure that their well-being is taken care of, you want to make sure that they're growing and prospering in some way, kind of like a mother to a child. But unfortunately, when you're lusting over something, all you want to do is obtain the thing you're lusting over. You want to take away from, and you want to acquire that thing at all costs, even at the expense of friendships, the expense of jobs, the expense of other relationships. Nothing else is more important than the thing you're lusting over, because you have to have it. You have to go and get it. You have to take it away from whoever else has it. So that's the difference. So in real life scenarios, if you're in a situation where you find yourself constantly giving and the person you're giving to is constantly taking, then you might want to reevaluate whether you're the only person in love. That if you and that individual are not equally yoked to begin with, meaning that y'all on the same spiritual plane, and I'll do another video at a later time really going in more in depth into that, but it's kind of difficult to say, because a lot of times most of us don't know who we are and don't know what to look for in another individual, because we haven't done the proper work and necessary work to find out who we are to begin with. So for example, if I don't know who I am spiritually, I don't really know what I believe in, I don't really know who the source of my strength is, where the source of my help come from. I don't know who I am career-wise. I don't have a career. I just have a job. I don't have any goals and aspirations. If I don't know where I'm going with a 5-year plan from now, how could I really know whether or not I love you or whether or not you love me? What am I gauging that by? What could you give to me, or how could you enhance me if I have no clue where I'm going? I'm just kind of going with the flow. You're going with the flow. Everybody's going with the flow, but the flow is going nowhere. So tune in next time and we'll get more in depth in regards to the 4 aspects of what you should look for in a mate and what you should work on within yourself to be a better mate.